to the end, everyone says.
All right, good morning, May 8th, meeting of the Police Department Buildings Committee. We have a.
Push your green button.
Yeah, then people can actually hear what I'm saying. I know. Well, call the meeting to order, by goodness. 8 o'clock, so let's go. We have roll call. We'll figure that out later. Were there any public comments, Joe?
No public comments.
All right. The minutes, we had 2 sets of minutes to review and approve. Everyone get a copy of them, take a look at them. Paul Foley out there. What did you
I'm
think,
good.
sir?
I love them. I love them. Short and sweet.
All right. Sort of like your prop thing.
This is recorded.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion to approve. A second? Nick, thank you. By the way, you're welcoming Nick in person here today. Good to see you, sir. All those in favor?
All
All
right.
right, good. General business and update. Ty, what do you got for us, sir? Oh, sorry.
I was definitely meeting after staying for that. George got it on the notes. From the one who was absent.
All right, gotcha. Ty?
So we've just been moving along. Scott will give you probably a better update. I think last meeting, I think the paving had happened since then. The landscaping's been going in. The ceiling under the carport area is underway, and a lot of other punch list items ongoing, as well as painting. As far as, well, Scott, I'll let you do your thing, and then we'll come back and do the numbers.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. So I know that we're doing a little bit of a walkthrough later today here. So we didn't create a photo montage. It'll encourage everybody to come out here and see it for themselves. So that's the task. Gene, looking forward to seeing you out here, Gene. No, so like Ty said, basically we're in the kind of button it up stage. So we're working in conjunction with the movers. They're moving all the furniture in. That's all coming in and getting placed and starting to get hooked up and connected. IT is out here doing what they need to do to get the monitors up and running, get everything on board with that, and trying to finalizing the setup and the layout of what's going on inside the building. From a construction standpoint, like Ty said, we're basically in a punch list mode. Brian was out earlier this week and generated his punch list. We have our list of items, some incomplete items that we're still tracking. Some are items, punch list items that just need to be touched up. There's a few items that, based on some of our walkthroughs with some of our vendors, have determined that there have been a couple adored hardware here that maybe is not functioning appropriately and needed to go back to the factory. But we're getting that stuff going. And then globally, it's some of the added work, a couple things, the doors in the dispatch area, we're working on getting those things in and trimmed. The columns went up outside. The ceiling is going up outside. The mulching is going in. Plantings are going in. Trees are going in. As Ty said, we've paved the parking lot. We've striped it. The temporary fence is coming down and we're opening it up. So we're kind of opening the place up and getting ready for turnover. And again, there are a few items that we've added, some a countertop here or there, a couple little items up in the detective's office where we've manipulated and need to do a little bit of a work with some IT and some power. But overall, it's kind of coming to a close, and we're pushing to get final cleaning in here in about 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks, so that we can then get out. But that's
Great.
about where we are. And any questions? And I didn't want to be curt, but I know that we're coming out, so I thought that would be best to come out and see it for real life.
Is any follow-up on the shed from last week or 2 weeks ago?
The shed has been purchased and
Okay,
it's arriving on June 18th, I believe.
good. Okay. Hey, just one minor thing that I noticed, which was I'm sure you fixed it, but it's kind of comical. I walked through the men's locker room, and as I was walking, the water in the sinks turned on as I walked by. It was kind of like the Mirage fountain out in Vegas. And then as I walked back, the sinks turned on in sequence. And
I'll ask the question. Were you wearing a vest?
I was not that close. I was not going to the locker room.
Were you wearing the vest?
If I was in your building at that time, yes, I was wearing the vest, hard hat, and safety glasses. Yes.
So, all right. And well, I appreciate that. No, but that's an honest question because the reflectors really
Ah.
they instigate it. So you could be on the other side of the room and it senses the reflectiveness. So, but yeah, certainly if we need to adjust the sensitivity of those, well, we'll certainly do that. Yes,
I'm sure
absolutely.
I'm sure if somebody goes in without a vest, you'll figure it out.
Um,
But
I'm gonna, I'll,
I thought it's amusing.
Paul, I'll strip down for you and take a walk.
No photos, please. No photos.
Okay. One other milestone, we did get the elevator inspected, so that's now on automatic as well.
Reps.
Up, they're up, still have to be painted. You gotta sand the joints and put Bondo on and whatnot, but they're all up. Yep, they look good. So jumping to the numbers, as we're sort of coming down the home stretch on the work, we're also coming down the home stretch on the numbers. You'll see as we get into it, there are a couple of subs that kind of opened up their bottom drawer and produced some tickets that we'll go through. But other than that, there's not too much change. What's that? Yeah, yeah. And it's predictable who it is, you know. Yeah. So, first page, PCO log, we have a couple things at the bottom, 154 to 158. Only one of them is a change order. That's the ASI 57. There's a little change in the storeroom 210 that was issued recently. So Larry's just put a guesstimate value on that. The other items will come up in the contingency and holds as we go through those. So jumping into the holds, the first item, entrance limestone. The intent was to salvage and reuse some of these limestone features. And when we tried to move them to salvage them, they kind of broke, so we had to replace them. So we had a $5,000 hold, and the replacement is closer to 15,000. So you'll see this come up in a few different places where we're capturing money to fund this. The first piece is here, and then coming down, the next one, patch and repair the brick piers. Sort of in the area where we jacked up the building for those two columns, there were two brick piers that were supporting some steel. The brick was in really poor shape, so we had to sort of rebuild those piers. So you'll see that one come up in a couple places. Again, we're capturing leftover dollars in various buckets, so you'll see some things appear in a couple of different places. Turning the page, here's a part 2 of the limestone replacement for another 5,000. Then down below, DOMAC, we have various tickets associated with the temporary roof. We had a temp roof on there while we were doing a bunch of the work, but as we put curbs in, we'd have to come back and kind of re-patch around the roof. So there are several tickets associated with some of that temporary roofing work. That was on the flat roof. So we put a temp roof down to get watertight so we could do all the finishes. But we wanted to wait till we got all the scaffolding stuff off before we put the permanent roof in. Turn a couple of pages, and last one here in the holds is CamSan. We had power to the identified for the sewage ejector, but once we got the motors, it needed a little more amperage, so we had to do some additional work on that. So that's that piece. And again, we had no. That was pulled out of a hold. Overall, we were, I think, 96 last time, so we're down about 15,000 on the hold from last month. Jumping into allowances, there's nothing, no change to allowances. I think, as we come down the home stretch, yeah, I think, it's going to be marginal. There might be 20, 30,000 left, but it's, most of it, I could say. Yeah. Last one, contingency. Again, if you go to the end, this is where some of this fallout was concentrated. So the first stack here is all Acronym, our mason. Again, a little bit more money for those brick piers, some patching of existing walls, but the big one here is on the next page, the stairwell parging. We had a hold for that. I mean, an allowance within their contract because it was hard to quantify that. And I think as you remember, as we took that tile off, it became a much bigger job. So we overrun the hold. We had 20,000, I'm sorry, 25,000 in, but we sort of kept going back and making it look a little better, a little better. It's like a stucco.
It's the wall.
Right.
You're not talking about that.
No. This is the,
Treatment on the wall.
no, yeah. When we pulled all that tile off, it was like craters all over the place that we had to build it back up. Then there's a couple of other small ones. The last one for Acronym AMI, some caulking. We're still negotiating that, but that's the value that was submitted. So we put it in and we're hoping to improve on that. The next stack, Domac. Again, some temporary roofing and flashing. There are a couple of these that we also think are under negotiation. Some of the waterproofing items there. And then the last one is the last piece of the limestone replacement. That's the last sort of part of was it 15,000 overall up increase. So we were at 303. Again, a couple of bigger numbers here. So we went from 303 down to the 235. But I think we're really over the bulk of it. There will certainly be some more. So I think the 250 target overall is sort of, probably where we're going to land between allowances and holds in this.
So the stuff you negotiated, a lot of this waterproofing in the roof, I gotta believe you and the roofer sort of talking, hey, this should have been part of the original deal, stuff like that. So these things are all sort of being, a lot of these are still being discussed.
Yes. Ain't over till it's over.
Yeah.
Ain't over till it's over. And Joe asked about, when do we think we'll have, close out finer bill? As I mentioned, Acronym, we have that sort of outstanding claim. I submitted a letter, I think it was end of last week, which our in-house counsel sort of helped write, and I added a little color and basically saying, we don't recognize your claim. You can't claim just because you've lost money due to your own mismanagement. It has to be, something that was imposed on you. So that 230, is that right?
So the claim was 230.
Larry, help me out. What was it?
325.
325, sorry.
Substance of the claim again.
The substance of the claim was that they were held up in certain areas. Well, the reality was they were held up because they didn't have their materials. And the waterproofing material, we were waiting for them. And then the block wasn't there, and then, various other components. So they were holding us up. We weren't holding them up, is the reality of it. And then they, just had mismanagement. The foreman wouldn't show up on certain days, so the whole crew would sort of sit around and not know what to do. So it was a sort of a comedy of errors on the part. Yes, so Scott has volumes of emails where he's saying what's going on here and there and whatnot. We've seen this on other projects with Acronym, and it's been resolved in our favor. So we're expecting the same.
But the quality of the work's okay.
Yeah. I mean, there are some punch list things that we're still color of some grout that we're working through. That's probably the last big one. I don't think anything else, Scott, outstanding with Acronym?
No, they've been responsive to the little punch list items, and certainly they want to get out of here as well. So, but just another point to the quality. Yeah, we were probably more diligent with them, just knowing what they were all about. So I'm confident in the work that we did and all the items that we monitored.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Any other questions about the numbers and changes? Brian, you had a walkthrough of the punch list. Is there anything you'd like to add to any of these things here in the discussions?
I was out there Tuesday. Obviously, at the end of the job, there's a flurry of activities that are still happening. I produced a punch list, which was about 5 pages. Scott has that. So they understand the level of finish that, you know, we're anticipating to turn the building over to the owner. And I see that we're on path for a June 3rd turnover. So I was anxious to see it. That's the first time I've seen it with furniture in it. And I hope you're going to be pleased when you walk through it today. So the other thing is certificate of substantial completion. That is a document that Turner is looking for, and the owner and the contractor have to agree to a date. And the date is significant because the date of substantial completion is the initiation of all your warranties. Some warranties run a year, some warranties run further than a year, but they have to determine what's the date that the warranties start. The other thing about substantial completion is it's the date that the owner starts paying for utilities and provides maintenance on the building, is responsible for the building. It becomes your building on that date. So I've established May 1st as a date that's convenient and seems to be suitable for the start of warranties, and also that signifies that the building is ready for its intended use. That's a date that I put on a piece of paper, but it's not a date until you, the owner, and the contractor sign it. So that's up for discussion today, and I'm recommending May 1.
Tiger and Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, we have to discuss that. There's, it seems to be a little early, but let's just discuss it offline. I also, excuse me, need to talk about insurance and things like that. So I don't know that we can go retroactive with our builder's risk policy and switch things over. So we have to have a conversation.
Do we need some building committee action in order to agree a date? For example, if we can't go retroactive on insurance, today being VE Day, May 8th, can we pick a target date that the building committee approves with the adjustments to be negotiated between you and Brian? Would that work?
I don't think you need to have any action in that, and we'll be able to do that.
Okay.
So Brian, given that we're not going to go active or move in until the 3rd, right? And officially, right? So why would we do May 1? I'm just curious as to the thought process behind that.
Because you're moving in right now.
Oh, all right.
Well,
I mean, why wouldn't you wait as long as you could? Right?
Well, there is cost implications for Turner if you wait also. So it's kind of a push me, pull me. Turner wants it as early as possible and the owner wants it as late as possible. So there's
Turned on all the mechanical stuff. All the mechanical systems have been up and operating. So those are probably the most critical warranty issues. And so that's the bulk of the RV.
We need to solve the insurance issue.
Yes, that's most important.
yeah, I don't know that it's going to be an issue, but I obviously need to tell Kerma the date. And then if it's a non-issue, it's a non-issue. But I might have some other,
Penny's not
She's right behind you.
oh.
Oh,
Yeah, repeat.
Yeah, so as far as insurance goes, we will, thank you, Penny, we'll review the insurance with the insurance agent to make sure there's no issues with that. And there's also, taking over the building, we're already paying for the electric bill and utilities and stuff like that. We haven't been trained on any of the equipment to maintain it and operate it. So, I mean, there's just other little items that we need to work out.
Do you need to pick the beginning of a month? Like, are you talking May 1st or June 1st, or can you pick any day? Okay,
Any day, yeah.
right. We look forward to hearing the results of the tussle between the two of you.
The general conditions cut off at some point?
No, that's a function of the staff reps.
Okay.
Brian, were there other things in your punch list that you think will affect the numbers, or something, significant enough that the building committee needs to be aware of?
The majority of my punch list, Bill, is cosmetic. It's a ding here, it's a repair here, it's a repaint here, it's a caulk here. I guess the most sizable thing I saw was the skylights not in at the carport, but that's not impacting occupancy. It's not impacting operations. There is some punch list work that relates to change order activities, such as the columns aren't done. So we can't really penalize Turner because it's a change order activity and it was given to them late in the game. Like modifications to room 210 in the Detective Bureau, we can't hold up substantial completion because they were given a late directive on a revision to a room. But most of the other is just cosmetic.
Good, terrific. Any other questions for Brian? So the date is being discussed, and Joe's looking into the insurance. Is that because that's obviously we want to minimize our maximum regret, which is a snafu there. So that's all good. Thank you, Gene.
Good morning.
Right.
Let me share. Should I share? So, just running right to the bottom line on the owner's contingency, again, continue to creep up a little bit in the town's favor. We're at 916,104 right now. And we've kind of spent the yesterday kind of balancing Turner's cost against our budget. So everything is looking pretty strong and reconciled up to this point. So everything's looking good there. We've also encumbered the shed is in this cost. So that number is reflected in the budgets as well.
So this matches with the report that Ty just went through?
Correct.
Great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think if you can you see this screen too?
Yeah.
The only other thing, yeah, just a quick look at the, we're at billing wise, we're at 96% complete. So there's going to be probably 2 more requisitions, I would guess. Not really sure, but we're pretty close to the project final billing, with the exception of whatever rolls in late on the FF&E soft cost kind of expenses. But I don't know, Ty, is that a fair statement?
Yeah, we're in really closeout mode. We've gone through that process with about 7 contractors. And we're going to continue that process. Retainage, once, we're going to start releasing retainage on contractors. That's part of the cash. It's not part of the percent complete.
Right.
But so yeah, we're definitely coming down the home stretch.
Yep.
And as I said, the last piece will probably be Acronym and that closeout.
So if things run the way they are now, if the holes are all used and this contingency stays about 915 or 900, and the builder's contingency comes in at around 2, is that fair? So we should be at about 1.1 total? Sounds good to me.
I hate when we say it in front of Nick and the finance committee, though. I hate to throw out that number.
61
When we were at 8, when we were at 8, he was expecting 1. So I think we're good.
Yeah, I mean, we have the $62,000 that are in the pending column for Turner. Barring any other surprises here, the 235 is the kind of the expected contingency amount that's currently remaining, and then our contingency about 916. Yep. So all good.
Thank you, Gene. Other questions for Gene? Thank you, sir. Police, you guys have to be a little busy right now. How's it going? I guess you should give us a brief update, to the building committee, and of course, most importantly, if there's anything the building committee can do for you.
Yeah, we met with the movers yesterday, and we're planning to move the offices May 27th and 28th. Start getting the offices moved over there with the anticipated cutover for the dispatch center for June 3rd. So we're going to get the offices. We didn't want to do them all in the same week. Joe, do you have an update on the dispatch desk? I know we talked about that last.
Yeah, so long story short, they're fixing it today, so we don't need to buy a new console. We went back and forth, and it washed out in our favor, as it should have. It was their error. So that should be resolved today, and we'll have 2 functioning desks. The one issue they did highlight is it's older equipment. It is reaching end of life, and at this point, if it breaks again, it's going to be very, very difficult to get replacement parts for it. So we don't anticipate it breaking anytime soon.
So you're basically foreshadowing that in a few years, when the thing does break and you're going in front of the town bodies to say, here's our, we need another $20,000 dispatch desk.
Exactly.
And they start saying, hey, we just had a new police station. No, we reused this.
Yeah.
And
the timeline, even if we bought new now, it's a few months out. It just would disrupt everything we have moving forward. So this will get us operational today and for the foreseeable future. But yeah, it's at end of life. So, that will be a future purchase.
And the state's been very responsive.
Yeah, we've been meeting with them for months. All the vendors and the stakeholders that are involved in that process. We've had monthly meetings with them for the past several months. So we're good to go. Everything's on track for that.
Yeah, and all their purchase orders are in place for everyone that we need to pay. And like John said, we've been on their radar for 5 months now, basically, or more. So the June 3rd date is every month we touch base on it, and they're lined up.
Who's the primary vendor on the 911 system?
AT&T.
Sorry, I thought.
Yeah, and then the state. One other minor change for the training room on the 3rd floor that was originally earmarked as a virtual training center, and I think we had something like 300 or so thousand. Through several consultations, we haven't found any equipment that really is suitable, so we're going to stick with basically our $5,000 option of virtual headsets. But we are going to the Board of Selectmen, I believe it's next week, to 20th, we want to put similar mats into that room that are in the adjacent room, so we can basically use both rooms as defensive tactics training area. So make it a multi-use room. So we are, do you remember the cost of the mats?
For this second room, I believe was around 7,000.
Yeah. So there's mats on the floor and up the wall. So we're going to basically expand that second room. We're going to pivot from making it a virtual training room and make it more of a multi-use de-escalation type of defensive tactics type of room.
So will that 7,000 or whatever it is come out of our budget?
I think it's already,
Part of the.
it's already earmarked. Like I said, it was already earmarked for.
Well, we started at
300,000.
Right,
we had-
come out of
we started-
We had $330,000
Right,
in a
okay.
line item that's been used for these types of things.
Right, no, that's what I figured.
Yeah, so I don't believe it'll come out of contingency, correct? Or-
Correct. It would be funded from the trading room line item.
That's it. No other.
And your gym equipment has arrived.
Yeah.
And it's all that has been is good as well.
Yeah.
And closing out Locust Avenue, there's nothing else building committee needs to do for you there.
We don't get much rain in the next couple of weeks because that place leaks like a sieve, but we look like happy to get out of there, get dry.
Sounds good. Yeah, good. So, again, I hate to, well, knock on wood, but talking about cut over things and appropriately the town's access to the new police building and doing some planning for that. Right, we are certainly scheduled for Wednesday, June 4th, 10 o'clock for the ribbon cutting that Deanna gets to practice with here. They've been WD-40 sharpened and yeah, get these things out of my hands. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I basically almost cut off my finger showing my wife how to use the knife sharpener the day after Thanksgiving. So let's just keep these things away from me. But
John and I, Chief and I discussed the possibility of some guided tours, maybe the week before. It's a subject for the committee to consider. No open house where people just wander around, but small groups of maybe 8 or 10 people with a guide, an officer, or somebody that knows what they're doing, taking them through areas before it becomes locked up. But after the 3rd, it cannot be, certain areas can't be toured. John, any thoughts on that?
Like I said, we're moving the 28th and 29th?
30th.
And the 30th, so.
What about before the move?
First, yeah, the 2nd, maybe Monday the 2nd.
Just for a couple hours, one afternoon, everyone wants to show up, but they have to meet in the lobby.
How about Monday, June 2nd?
Good. Good to me.
Is this?
yeah, let's flesh it out a little bit. But what are we trying to do? We're trying to make sure that the public who's paying for this police building feels that they had the opportunity to see it. That's incredibly appropriate.
Right.
So we appreciate the police working. You're busy, man, and finding a couple guys for a couple hours to get us, to get the people that are interested through there. But the reality is, we have to provide them that opportunity. Now, how many people will show? I have no idea. How if we advertise it, I have no idea. So it's I don't know what we did with town hall. It was a different situation though. So
Didn't have jail cells and.
yeah,
and fancy
yeah.
equipment.
But I just I think this has been the public has been very pleased. They've been very supportive, and I just feel like the last we don't want to leave a taste in people's mouths. Like, well, yeah, you guys built a new police station, but I didn't get to see it, and so. I
So
think
we
should provide
probably
that.
be best doing it before we move on the 28th, 29th. So maybe the 26th or the 27th or the week before.
Yeah.
Just, before we're working it, because once we start moving over, our troops will be in their locker rooms, coming into our locker rooms, and obviously we're not doing tours when we're living there and operating there, even partially. So
What about doing it the week of the 19th?
that's what I'm saying. We could do it, that week or the 26th or 27th.
Mhm.
So.
The other thought that was had by the committee last time was that we would have just a walkthrough of the public spaces on the day of the ribbon cutting.
Well, that could be in addition, but I think we should offer tours
Yeah.
of the entire building.
I think that's probably less important than.
I don't think we're gonna have that many people sign up. Do you want to do pre-registration?
No,
You can-
no, it can be
Okay,
just, come as you are.
Okay.
People-
Meet in the lobby and take 10 people at a time or something like that.
I think I would do like a sign up genius or something, just so you know who's coming. I don't think you wanna, I would be concerned about, I mean, it's open to the public and any, I would just be cautious to just say, and you could have non-residents find out about it and show up. So I think you should.
It's gonna be guided towards it.
Yes.
It won't be, they won't be
But
going
you should also know
anywhere.
how many you're gonna have and be prepared.
Yeah, I mean, if that's
I think.
something
You
that
can have
somebody
somebody
else.
sign it. I mean, that's not hard to do. I'm sure Jen knows how to do it.
Yeah. We could certainly do that.
So
You
suggestion,
can sort of
you have
get
to,
in the work.
the suggestion is that you should email someplace if you want to.
We'll create a
participate in
sign up
that.
genius. Yeah, we'll create up a sign up system. That's fine.
So, so you proposed a couple of dates that they're all fine as far as I'm concerned, but you said 27, 28 was a possibility or not? Or
26th, 27th, or the week.
26th,
All right,
holiday.
yeah.
So, or the night, any week 19. You kind of, I guess you pick a date and we'll go for there. You pick the best for you.
How are you gonna have?
I don't know, 2 days, 1 day.
Okay.
I think, yeah, one day and then in 2 hours.
May 27th.
Okay.
Okay, can we use like Diona's email this morning was a good way to get the word out. Can we use something like that?
Yeah, sure.
And
Yeah, I
and
mean,
that be it?
Yeah, it came out today, so it's
Yeah.
a little late, but I didn't put in the June 4th date just because you were not like
Yeah,
totally set. I was gonna do it and I said.
I'm more, I guess I'm a little,
That's
again, as an old baseball player, man, you don't talk to the guy when he's pitching a no-hitter, there's all kinds of little funky things, the little demons in my head. So yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah, I'm happy to use that and do like a one-time, one-off,
That would be a good way.
Notice.
That way people can say they had a chance.
We'll
All right,
do the
so-
tours from noon until 4.
Whatever suits you.
About 2 hours. How about just 2 hours is plenty?
You just make it 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
Two.
Great.
Two.
Noon until 3.
And what did you say, Tuesday the 27th?
Yes.
Okay. And the ribbon cutting, 10 o'clock on Wednesday the 4th. We're feeling pretty good about those, right?
10 a.m. on June 4th, right?
Yep.
I think we have a plan, group.
Yeah, I think that is good. This meeting will stay open, by the way. Claudia, reached out to me and said, went through the fact that we're doing a tour afterwards. In fact, we put it out there. So this meeting is not gonna be closed out. We're taking the meeting over to the police station to do our tour, and then we'll close the meeting officially.
Temporary adjournment.
Yep. So we're gonna go meet at the police station right now. Is that fair? Scott, you ready for us? You ready for us, right?
Hold on, I gotta unmute, and yes, I am. Bring your own
All right.
coffee.
All right. All right, meeting is not adjourned, but go move it over to the police station.